Welcome one, welcome all. I am Goose the Grey here again with another solo queue cast. Joining me today is Elthizar. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Goose, and today I believe we're following Son of Dragon. He's just successfully made it back into Challenger.
Indeed, he was in Challenger, of course, during Season 3 already. And we are now on to the Rift, and this game should be good because we have a lot of big names in this one, really. We've got Son of Dragon, who, as we just said, is in Challenger. We've got Shacker, who was playing on EG for a little while as a sub-jungler. Then on the other side, we have Zorozero, we have Cyanide, sOAZ, and Lumikari, who's also one of the top players here. And it's just going to be exciting. So, looking at these two teams, we'll have a matchup of Gragas versus Renekton up in the top lane, which should be interesting. Then Kha'Zix versus Wukong in the jungle. LeBlanc trying to match up against Ahri in mid. And of course, in the bottom lane, is this a Jarvan Taric up against a Vayne Thresh? That would be...
It looks like it.
That'd be really cool.
Well, consider it, early game, there was a massive advantage actually for running the Taric and the Jarvan, because of course Jarvan gains bonus armor from taking an early point into his Demacian standard. Taric gives an armor aura from leveling Shatter, so early damage being taken from sOAZ and Cyanide's poke will be very, very low. They are actually going to have to rely upon Lulax to come in to get kills.
Indeed, and Jarvan, of course, also having so much high early damage that this could really be an explosive bottom lane. And I think if Jarvan and Taric do well at the start, the blue team has a very real chance of making this unconventional composition succeed. But for now, we do have both of the junglers starting at their blue buffs. Wukong actually getting very little help, so he'll be a little bit slower than Kha'Zix, but should also be quite successful with the rest of the lanes just starting off the standard way. And I'm really looking forward to see how this Jarvan Taric lane plays out. And it's actually going to be LeBlanc in top and Gragas in mid, so those two switched around.
Well, putting the LeBlanc top allows a lot of more safety in that top lane because Renekton's engage, especially against a long-range target and with someone with distortion, LeBlanc, hello, then you're not going to take much damage. That said, Zorozero did take a hell of a lot of damage from a single Call the Meek in that past engagement, so Kidsan doing very well for himself.
I'd have expected Zorozero to probably go into magic resist with the runes. He's got very little armor actually, only 32 on the board right now. And of course that will cause him to take a lot of damage from the Kidsan on his Renekton. So, not the best of starts for the time being. And Kha'Zix actually oh no, there he goes with Void Spikes, taking that last little lizard down. I almost thought he was going to let that live, prevent his own red buff from respawning. But right now, we actually do already have a nice advantage playing out in the bottom lane. 8 CS advantage right now for Vayne over Jarvan. And in the mid lane, Ahri's ahead.
Well, that's not massively surprising. In fact, it was an engage onto the Taric. Decent damage going down, but he's not going to take too much from that.
He got hit by the death sentence. The Flay came in as well, but for now, they're just going to back off. Taric, of course, with that, he'll be quite comfortable, but we have Kha'Zix moving around to the mid lane. Is this going to be first blood? He did manage to sneak in behind, has that red buff. He's got a proc it, but gets charmed almost instantly. Gragas already backed off, but a nice amount of damage done onto Son of Dragon on that Ahri. He's going to have to back off for the time being.
Well played by Son of Dragon, kept his cool, did not burn his flash in that engagement, so well played by him to stick around, backs out and picks up a second Doran's Ring. Nice little amount of bonus sustain and ability to stay in lane rather, because Ahri's mana costs can be quite punishing if you use your abilities a little bit too much. Oh, John goes into the bottom lane, so it's taking a lot of damage.
That was a very nice flag and drag. They needed to make something happen here with their early game damage. The exhaust, the ignite, and the barrier are already out. Vayne flashing away, flash after him from Jarvan, and he does pick up the kill. Now can Cyanide escape from this? He has to try and get away, and there's a Flay almost keeping himself safe, but he does get knocked up again. There was a shatter as well. The stun comes out, and now he flashes away. He's going to be able to survive as Kha'Zix makes his way in. The Void Spikes land. Is Kha'Zix going to jump? And yes, he will. The red buff is on to Jarvan. Are they going to be able to pick up a kill here? Taric is out of mana, so he can't stun. The flash after him out of Kha'Zix, but that's going to be kill returned. Wukong making it into the bottom lane just in time. Now can Thresh survive this? Wukong still wants more. Nice Flay though, prevents any further aggression.
That was a very, very nice play out by Cyanide. It actually prevented Shaka from coming in with the Nimbus strike. It actually interrupted it as he was trying to jump onto him.
So a lot of action down there in that bottom lane, and already a 2-1 kill lead in favor of the blue team. They did of course pick up the first blood as well. That went over to Jarvan. And right now, The situation is a little bit tense. So a kill went on to Jarvan, one went on to Wukong, and on the other side, the only kill was gained by Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix, of course, will love that. He's going to be looking to snowball with that. But for the time being, I mean, the blue team had to make something happen in the bot lane, but I think overall the red team got out ahead.
I'm tempted to say they didn't, though, because of course Shaka picked up a kill on that Wukong, meaning he actually got a fairly considerable advantage over Lualex in the early stages of the game. He doesn't have that death, has slightly higher CS, and when it hits level 6, Wukong, I would say, is actually a more impactful jungler with that Cyclone ultimate, providing that knock-up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be towards the later stages of the team fights as well, when Wukong really comes into power with that Cyclone knocking everybody up. And there's a lot of crowd control on the blue team with that Jarvan flag and drag if he manages to knock people up. Taric, of course, with the Dazzle having a stun. Renekton has a stun. Ahri has a charm. There's a Cyclone on Wukong. So a lot of crowd control across them all. But for the time being, Vayne pretty much ahead in that lane, 43 to 20 CS. It's only the kill, Jarvan in that, and he picked up a decent amount of items. Kha'Zix was looking for a gank in the top lane, but did decide to back off again.
Son of Dragon going in on the middle lane, Louis Carey taking a lot of damage, actually just to flash the charm. Well done by him there. He's taking incredibly low though, so that is him going to be forced out of lane. Well played by Son of Dragon.
Indeed. Son of Dragon seizing the right moment there. The junglers were both not around, and Wukong still in the enemy jungle, may get caught out here. Kha'Zix is moving closer to him. They know that Kha'Zix is there. It does look like Wukong runs right into him. Kha'Zix gonna engage. The red buff is on, and Wukong going very low, using that Cyclone, trying to get away, but the jump over him comes from Kha'Zix, and a nice juke backwards. Shaker may yet live to see another day, but Kha'Zix and are currently chasing him. He's trying to run all the way back. Might be able to get himself executed under one of the towers. It does look like he dodged the Void Spikes, and now he's under the tower. It does get executed. Just barely. Kha'Zix almost got him with that jump, though.
Yeah, nicely done by him.
Ooh, top lane flash in from the Kitsan, and he does pick up the kill there.
Yeah, very nice dive potential coming out from the Renekton. He has hit level 7, so Dominus was present, and Zorozero just doesn't have the damage to deal with him right now. 2 Doran's rings, and just picked up an amplifying tome. He's just not tanky enough to sustain in a fight against a Renekton.
I still don't know why they put that LeBlanc versus Renekton. Just the difference in damage is so huge, and Renekton's been very comfortable up there, now picking up a kill as well, so he's going to be looking to snowball that lead ahead. But this bottom lane really scares me for the blue team, because Vayne is basically almost free farming here.
Yeah, unfortunately there's not really much innate and ideology can do right now, so they're waiting for level 6. Of course, the strength of their engagement at level 6 is incredibly high, but sOAZ will have his flashback up soon. And if Vayne can time a tumble well, then he can actually tumble out of Cataclysm before the walls come up. So level 6 engagement is actually looking very much in favor of our red side.
Cyanide and sOAZ, of course, on the same team, know each other quite well, probably have some nice amount of communication. And I really have to say they play this lane very well against that high burst damage out of Taric and innate on that Jarvan, so they really just stayed careful and kept themselves safe. But now we have Ahri and Wukong actually setting up right as LeBlanc roamed down. This is very tense. They could be trying to steal away the red buff. Kha'Zix is over there, and Shaker and Ahri move in. There's a ward as well, of course, and they're gonna go in. The charm lands. Orb of Deception already. That's a kill over to Ahri. Nicely done. The red buff gonna get stolen away onto Ahri as well, and now they might be able to catch LeBlanc on the way out. Nope. Ahri just gonna go over to the mid lane, but nice kill picked up there.
Yeah, very well done there. I think Shaka would have been better served with the red buff, but a buff stolen is very good nevertheless. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, we do see Cyanide and sOAZ backing out. sOAZ coming back into the lane with a second Doran's Blade and a Bilgewater Cutlass, of course, building towards the Blade of the Ruin King. Elementary item on any Vayne.
It's really what he wants to do, and once he gets those Phantom Dances on top of it, or the Static Shiv, that's when Vayne gets really, really scary with all that additional attack speed. And we see Taric barely doing any damage anymore, and Vayne actually chasing here. Nice Silver Bullets proc, and the spectator doesn't want to watch. Here we go. And now, oh, with that nice condemn into the wall, that's going to be Taric getting death sentenced. Even though the exhaust is onto Vayne, that's going to be a very dead Taric. Nice, there goes the Silver Bullets. The box is down as well, as Jarvan went back in, and this could still be a kill. Nice Cataclysm though, and we have Wukong coming in over the side. That's going to be a kill over to Jarvan, taking sOAZ down, and now Thresh has to try and survive. He's not going to manage. That's a double kill over to Jarvan. And that's gonna be it. Mid lane actually not fighting.
Yeah, very well played by that bottom lane combo. Shaka's going to put a lot of damage down onto that turret. Meanwhile, we do of course see Innate backing out, and he picks up the Tiamat, so rushing for the Ravenous Hydra, very good on any melee fighter, with a couple of exceptions, Gragas being one of them.
So this should be pretty cool, and we did see Wukong just Shaka with that phenomenal timing coming around the corner just in time to pick up not only the assist onto Vayne, but then also the another assist onto Thresh, and Jarvan really doing a lot of damage there. Of course, now with that Tiamat, he's going to be even scarier. And all of a sudden, you know, we saw Thresh and Vayne thinking they had the advantage, but then through all the crowd control and that cataclysm, Jarvan and Taric were able to live long enough that they were still able to come back and in the end get a double kill onto Jarvan. That makes him a lot scarier. We have a fight in the mid lane with Kha'Zix flashing out, the Ignite still ticking away, but he's going to stay safe.
Son of Dragon doing incredibly well for himself. Two versus one. Takes Lualex so very low and forced the flash as well. If the second component of Orb of Deception had landed, that would have been a very dead Kha'Zix. Son of Dragon doing very, very, very well. He has broken 100 CS as well, which is fairly high considering. In fact, Kidzan's just broken 100 as well. And it does look like bottom lane is going to go onto Ideology. No, they land the Condemn into the wall, but they decide against going for a full-blown engage.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit risky. The last fight turned around against them, and now with the Tiamat on Jarvan, it's pretty risky. The knockup almost lands onto sOAZ. That was very close, but they do decide to go in with Wukong coming from behind them, actually. The Whirlwind lands onto Thresh. He barely survives. Now Vayne is almost going to go down. She goes. Jarvan picking that one up, and again, just phenomenal timing from Wukong coming around the backside at the exact right time, making things happen for his team. And Kha'Zix, even though he was close as well, was just a little bit too late. Vayne getting caught out, killed again.
This is exactly what I was saying about Wukong being a more impactful jungler. Flashes over the wall, engages, gets the kill onto Vayne. Thresh did not fall, but it forced sOAZ to move away from that fight, and it was moving into a position where Innate and Ideology could pick her up with relative ease. Meanwhile, noticing the blue team have backed off, we actually see the red team going for this dragon. Good call, definitely. There's going to be very little contestation from the blue team. So down does go the first dragon in favor of our red team, but they're still approximately 4,000 gold down at 13 minutes, 7 for 2, and a turret down as well. Kidzan doing amazingly well in that top lane. There is absolutely nothing Zorozero can really do. He's barely making a dent on this Renekton.
Yeah, he's trying hard, but it's just not enough. He's picked up that Hextech Revolver, but it's not quite, it's just not what he needs. He cannot fight Renekton on equal terms, and has just been pushed back the entire time. Gragas there used the explosive cask in mid lane as well, just to clear the wave and be able to back off the red team here. Very hard pushed, and Taric almost landing that stun. Nice condemn from Vayne. Keeps herself safe and is able to walk away, but we do have the blue team making a big push onto the mid lane here.
Yep, Son of Dragon is going to take that turret, further pushing that gold lead. It's now 5,000 in favor of our blue team. Son of Dragon almost lands the charm onto Lumikari, but hits a minion. We do actually see Kidzan going towards the steal for the blue, but Lualex evidently seeing it coming and retreats towards his bottom lane. We could see a 4-man dive here, actually.
We did have a little bit of engage. The box already went down there, and now Kha'Zix had to run around the back as well. He's already expended his ultimate. Thankfully, there's a ward in that Tribush area, so they know that not only Renekton but Ahri as well are around. But all 5 members from the blue team are here. All 5 members from the red team as well, but the death sentence hit a minion. This is explosive once it happens. That tower is so low, they could just focus it down and then go for the fight. But it does look, LeBlanc retreating for now. That ward still in the Tribush area, and now Renekton and Wukong and Ahri have all backed off as well, and that was just a stalemate with neither team pulling the trigger. Now Wukong is recalling. Taric, oh no, he's actually stopped from recalling. Nice barrel over the wall. Taric and Jarvan still want to make something happen, but this could be very risky with the red team now able to pull the trigger, and while they're outnumbering the blue team. Nope, everyone just got to back off.
Yep, no engagement going down right now. A little bit of a stalemate, as you say. Closing on 50 minutes, we see an attempted engagement by Innate, and in fact, it's not really an attempt at all. Cyanide gets jumped and cataclysmed. He's going to go down.
And he did go in. The Ignite is down as well. Now Jarvan goes pretty low though. Vayne, nice amount of damage. Nice stun out of Taric though. Almost keeps Taric safe and Jarvan alive for the longest time. Meanwhile, in the jungle, we see Wukong trying to kill Kha'Zix, but Kha'Zix has already taken out Ahri, and there are so many kills across the board. Checker also going to go down. LeBlanc picking that one up, and the red team actually coming out ahead 3 versus 2 here, or 3 to 2, and Vayne is not quite done yet. Does get stunned up though, so not more going to happen in the bottom lane, but the red team this time around coming out ahead.
Multiple skirmishes across the map, going very, very well for them. Very well played by Zorozero. He actually flashed over the wall to escape Shaka when he popped his mirror image clone. So, very well played by him there. Allowed for a great trade for his team, and it's going to do some good, but it has only narrowed the gold lead. It's still over 3,000 gold at this stage in the game.
The red team catching up a little bit, and when is that turning point going to come? When that ranged AD carry just starts to outscale the melee guy, but Renekton gets himself caught in the enemy jungle. That was a nice and interesting flash out of Gragas, keeping himself safe very, very early on. I thought that he could actually just stay there and fight it, but LeBlanc wants that kill. There's the barrel. Kha'Zix actually coming in, taking that kill away. So that's another one of the red team, and the blue team, as I said, is slowly getting outscaled. When will that point come when Vayne really takes over the game?
I honestly do not know at this stage. Zorozero pushing out that top lane since his lane opponent is dead. We do see some major items coming out right now. Death Fire Grasp picked up on Son of Dragon. Currently only 1-1-1, but that is very likely to change. That burst coming out from Death Fire Grasp, especially when combined with the damage amplification from her charm.
We did have beautiful death sentence in the bottom lane. The stun came out as well. The box was already there. Nice condemn into the wall as well, and that's going to be Vayne picking up a kill. That is why you do not back in a bush where there's a ward. Thresh was able to death sentence him, and yeah, able to sentence him to death. Ha.
Fairly textbook kill in the bottom lane. We do actually see Lumikari coming down. They are going to try and siege up on this turret, and the members of the blue team have basically resigned it to its fate. They have completely abandoned the lane. And we do actually see just Innate farming up the jungle.
That, in turn, of course, denies a little bit of CS to Wukong. And LeBlanc is covering in the mid lane. Now, soon, though, the red team will have to respond because Renekton is still pushing top. Ahri's still pushing mid. So if nothing happens here, the blue team may actually get out ahead with a nice amount of damage, not only on the top, but also on the mid tower. LeBlanc is a little bit late on the rotation. Almost wanted to fight that instead of just defending the tower, but this is going to mean Ahri still left all alone in the mid lane, and Wukong was setting up a bush gank in case anyone walked by him. Now Renekton's coming over to the mid lane, and this mid tower has almost gone down, but we have a fight in the bottom lane. Innate on Jarvan, already solo, has to flag and drag out of there, and Taric is getting caught as well. He's going to go down for sure. Vayne picking up another kill, now 4-3-0, but Wukong comes in, the Cyclone already there. Kha'Zix meanwhile did pick up Ahri, but Graga's still going to go down over to Shaka, and now Vayne, can she pick up another kill? She's got the silver bullets almost proccing onto Wukong. Renekton is coming around the corner, and Vayne does not decide to chase. Now Renekton wants another kill. The Ignite was there, but the Condemn pushed him back. Now he's getting pretty low, and Vayne may decide to re-engage this, but Wukong goes in again. He does pick up Thresh, but LeBlanc is around the corner now as well. That's going to be another kill over to Vayne. Now Jarvan is back alive, looking for more himself, but he's just going to flag and drag and not actually hit anything. The silver bullets are on, and the flash comes out of Vayne, and here's LeBlanc as well. They're trying to pick up the kill under the tower. They do, just as the Cataclysm came out, and red team just pulling farther and farther ahead. They're now even in kills.
Even in kills and almost even in gold as well, and more turrets may go down in the near future. It just goes to show how good the red team is at skirmishing. They have a great competition for getting picks. Lumikari has that explosive cast on Gragas. The double chain with Mimic on the Ethereal would be amazingly good on is amazingly good on Zorozero. Cyanide, great at locking down a single target, and the AoE from the box is great too. sOAZ, incredibly high single target damage. Lulax, incredibly high single target damage. So, the team really do need to work on getting more picks. Because if a team fight goes down, I still think the blue team have the advantage.
And there's not really any tank on the red team, so they have to be careful with that. Now Gragas getting stunned up under the top tower. He should be able to just walk away from that one though. But at this point, Vayne does a lot of damage just with those silver bullet procs, even to someone like Renekton, of course, with the Blade of the Ruined King percentage health damage and the extra damage from those silver bullets. it's just getting pretty scary for the blue team as well. As you said, they cannot afford to get picked off because the red team's phenomenally good at that. And Ahri here was looking to make a pick of her own and is now coming around behind Thresh, not going to be able to find anything in the top lane. LeBlanc wants the kill. Tower went down in the bottom lane, but for now, Renekton has to try and survive this. There, the damage from LeBlanc is ridiculous. That was a very quick kill. Ooh, Thresh getting called out as well, though. Ahri getting that kill, just deleted from the map. And now the blue team, with an advantage, wants to push this in the bottom lane here.
I don't think the bottom lane is the best place to push. Minions are coming up the middle lane. They are cycling in that direction, actually, so we are going to see them try and push down that middle turret. Zorozero is waiting in the wings, but I'd like to see him do something of particular use in a 1v4 situation.
Well, he could dash in, try and get a kill onto Son of Dragon, dash out, but he can absolutely not if crowd controlled. So instead he hangs back and the mid-inner tower goes down in favor of the blue team. So they're 4-2 in towers. They're still ahead 700 gold. But slowly, ever so slowly, this game has been turning around against them. Are they still able to win this?
Well, I do think they still need to just go for that teamfight opportunity. Ideology does back away though, and it looks like they are just going to trade middle turrets out for an inner, but still, more turrets picked up by the red team, more opportunities for picks, and they are indeed going to seize it. They're actually going to try and go on Son of Dragon, going incredibly low, the damage, and he does go down.
Beautiful death sentence there, and then the explosive cast, but Wukong comes back around, and they do pick up another kill onto Vayne, but it just gets turned around. It is at this point a 2-for-1 exchange, and the middle tower will still go down. Now what can Taric, Jarvan, and Renekton do about this? Are they going to be able to defend the inner tower? Because the red team does not want to give up just yet. They did lose Vayne though, so the fast push is gone. Kha'Zix tries to go onto Renekton, does a huge amount of damage, almost gets the kill, but the dominance comes out. Now Kha'Zix is actually in a lot of trouble, doesn't get the isolation damage anymore either, as Jarvan was there, and that's a kill over to them. And now the red team is forced to back out again. Can Taric get that stun? He's still missing. He's a little bit slower though, and he does decide to just farm the minion wave.
Yeah, minions cleared out, and the gold is completely dead level at this point. 14 for 14, Ideology getting caught out.
LeBlanc doing so much damage, but that death sentence narrowly missing Taric, so they weren't able to get the kill. Now the top lane gonna get cleared out by Vayne, bottom lane gonna get cleared out by Jarvan and Taric. Everything resetting for the time being.
Yeah, actually, Innate went for a Black Cleaver before finishing off the Ravenous Hydra. Son of Dragon getting dive.
Do have another kill in the mid lane. Beautiful dodge off the explosive cask, and Son of Dragon almost turned that back around. I mean, Zorozero was around, but he was so out of mana he couldn't do much. And Lumi Carry on that Gragas almost got himself killed there. Nice attempt. Oh, Zorozero gets caught by a charm. Does take a lot of damage from the Orb of Deception as well. And this is once again the blue team with a slight advantage in this mid lane, with everyone from the red team having to back off. But they're not grouped well enough to push anything out of this. And with Dragon not up either, they're not even able to gain anything out of this.
Nope, Dragon not up in the near future at all. Kids are going towards that bottom lane, but nothing is going to come of it. And Zorozero is going to have a massive spike in damage, has just completed the Rabadon's death cap, does have a very high burst potential, 346 ability power. On a LeBlanc with the double chain combo, that is very, very nasty.
I do not want to face this LeBlanc soon, however. Death cap will also be done on Ahri. Gragas just picked up a Zhonya's Hourglass. So slowly but surely, the red team is edging towards actually gaining a lot of extra teamfight power as well. Vayne farming in this bottom lane. Is Renekton gonna go in? This could be an interesting 1v1. There he goes, and that's a stun. The Ignite is out as well, and so it's going so low. The Ignite is still on him, and that's gonna be the kill. The dominance used to escape the tower, and the Kitson still coming out ahead in that 1v1. Now tanks up the tower for a little bit, farming out the minion wave. Thresh is coming around. There's a Talisman of Ascension. He does get the first hit in, but Renekton just turns it around. So much damage coming out. The Ignite is down onto Renekton though, and here's Gragas to pick up that kill. Nicely done. Now, is the blue team gonna go for Baron? They've pinged it. They're rushing over there, but Jarvan's still in the jungle, and there's only Kha'Zix and LeBlanc around. This could be risky for both teams.
Yeah, they do fall back off that engagement. Going back to the Kidzan incident just a moment ago, I'm tempted to say that if he were able to do so, the second iteration of the Slice and Dice could possibly have been used to go over the right wall and go down towards Dragon. But heat of the moment, he was trying to trade with Thresh, and then Gragas showed up. Not much he could have done.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to turn around the aggression, pick up another easy himself. Got a bit greedy there. LeBlanc able to back out of a bush where a ward had been placed, and that was very close. If LeBlanc gets caught out, That's really a huge amount of the damage of the red team gone. They have to be careful that that doesn't happen, but the flash stun onto Vayne, and there's the Cyclone over the wall. That's Vayne almost instantly going down. Ahri picking up another kill onto Thresh on the backside. Wukong still chasing onto Kha'Zix. Is he going to be able to get him? The red buff is on. The slow was actually on to Wukong, but here he goes, turns around, picks up the kill onto Kha'Zix, and this is now the blue team with a huge amount of advantages. Can they push in onto this middle inhibitor tower? Jarvan, of course, doing a lot of AD damage. They do have decent turret killing potential with that, but Zorozero comes around. There's the Ignite on Ahri. Is that going to be enough taking down? Yes, it is. LeBlanc picking up a kill, but Baron has been started by the blue team, and Innate actually goes back around, picks up the 500 gold shutdown onto LeBlanc. Nicely done, now fights it out with Gragas. Is he going to be able to do it? Ignite on both of them. The Zhonya's comes out of Gragas, and Jarvan for now is going to be able to survive. The Dragon Strike comes out. Gragas still alive, and as is Jarvan, but all of this is just stalling the red team from even making a move towards the Baron. They're finally pinging it, but with Gragas that low, and Baron already this far gone, that's going to be an uncontested Baron for the blue team.
Very good distraction play by Innate there. You saw all of their attentions on the middle lane. Shaka trying to be aggressive, but against Cyanide and sOAZ, that is not a good idea. You are going to get bursted down so hard.
That was a beautiful death sentence, catching him out almost instantly. That kill going over to Gragas. And Thresh, you cannot do that. The blue team right now, as you said, has to go for team fights. They cannot afford to get picked off, and they just got a Baron, but the Baron is already off of the first member, and now with 30+ second respawn timers, Shaka gonna be missing for his team for quite a while, so the blue team's not going to be quite able to aggress for a bit. That was, I do believe, the third completely uncontested dragon going over to the red team instead, so they're trying to get advantages where they can.
Yeah, they're doing very well on that. The ward coverage at the dragon hasn't been particularly high for our blue team, to be fair. So, meanwhile, Innate is farming very, very well. He actually has higher farm than sOAZ at this point in the game, which is rather impressive. He's got so much damage right now, finished the Ravenous Hydra, has Black Cleaver, and also Last Whisper now, so he'll be melting through every member of the red team if he can survive long enough, because he does not have the signature amount of tank that most Jarvans should have. And Zorozero actually coming around towards Innate. I don't think he knows about anything. No, he doesn't. He's going to get caught out.
And Vayne doing so much damage, almost getting taken out and returned though, but Kha'Zix coming in just in time. That was really close though. sOAZ barely surviving, but they took out Jarvan, which they really needed to do here.
Once again, red team getting those great picks, and blue team are just allowing them to happen almost. Single people going off. We see Kidzan in the top lane doing good damage to their top turret, but if he gets caught out, then that's another almost guaranteed kill for the red team. Zorozero trying to land a combo onto Kidzan, but the Ethereal Chains lands on a minion. Engagement over.
Bad luck there. The one thing I don't really like about the blue team's build path is that they're all going for high 80 damage, which is fine in general, but I'd really like to see them using their tank advantage a little more. The red team doesn't have any tanks whatsoever. Instead, they've got a lot of burst damage, and the blue team is kind of allowing that to snowball against them with Renekton basically going straight up damage, with Wukong basically going straight up damage. They still don't have a Randuin and Omen on their team, even against a Vayne. They've got 2 Giants bolts at this point, but they could be doing a lot more between Wukong and Renekton to make things happen and make things work for themselves. But now Jarvan is back, and this could be the fight. The Talisman of Ascension comes out. Nice condemn. Ahri into the wall, and Thresh is going to go down here very, very quickly. The Cyclone was used as well, but Vayne's really low, able to escape. Meanwhile, Renekton 1v1s Kha'Zix, picks up that kill. Now the blue team is on the offensive again. They want to get this inhibitor tower.
Yeah, this turret will most likely go down. Zorozero, Carry, and sOAZ are there, so high damage. But if they can alternate the tanks, then they may well be able to get the inhibitor. Down it goes. So they'll probably just try to escape with their lives. Kidzan taking quite a lot of damage, but Zorozero was forced straight off. Shaka may actually get engaged on. He's being way too overzealous.
Oh, that was a nice juke though. His clone actually the one getting condemned, and now Ahri goes in. That's the first kill onto Jarvan, and they're going in onto LeBlanc as well. Only one more hit. That's going to be the kill over to Jarvan. Again, another double kill for him. So the blue team at least taking some advantages out of that. Shaker, as you said, very, very deep, but it was a 2-for-1 trade. So still okay, and they got the inhibitor. So maybe proving me wrong here, going full on damage on 3 of their members is not a bad idea at all, and by now the Randuin's Omen and the Warmog's armor are both completed, so all of a sudden they're a lot tankier as well.
Yeah, as you said, Randuin's Omen not picked up by anyone, and then Shaka picks it up just after he dies. good amount of tankiness coming out on the Renekton as well, as you said, picking up the Warmog's armor. I'd very much like to see him pick up more armor right now. He only has 93 armor, which is very, very worrying, especially against a Vayne. He needs something like a random summon himself.
Or maybe even... no, Frozen Heart doesn't make sense on him. That would have made more sense on Wukong. But, I mean, right now, Kha'Zix and Vayne are the two guys doing damage, but there are also LeBlanc and Gragas doing AP damage, and you really have to decide what to go for. Instead, Renekton decides, okay, I'm just going to get straight up health, because both of them have, or all of the enemy team, have a lot of penetration as well. There are 2 Last Whispers and 2 Void Staffs, so getting a little bit of resistances isn't actually going to do quite as much as it should. That would have had to be bought earlier, but now at least he has a little bit of health to resist a little bit. And with Ahri and Taric pushing the bottom lane, the red team decides to call the bluff and just go straight down mid. Oh, Wukong going very deep. Can he get the kill? He does use the Cyclone, but Vayne, with that Talisman of Ascension, just able to get out. The Explosive Cast came as well, and there's Kha'Zix picking up a kill. Now the red team moving down this middle lane, and Vayne with a beautiful stealth tumble, getting away from Jarvan for the time being. Now what can they do? Ahri here over the wall. Actually, LeBlanc going very, very low. Takes the Lantern to get out. And that is them still going very low. Renekton getting picked up though. Can Kha'Zix make his way out of there? He's super low. The charm catches him over the wall. That's a lot of damage, but he flashes over to Ahri. Does get counter flashed. Now he jumps over the wall again. So much wall hopping. Jarvan goes after him, picks up the kill. But that's the red team still on the middle turret. And even though their inhibitor is down, they will won that fight 2 for 1.
Yeah, 4-man push now available on this mid lane. The siege is pretty strong with the rolling barrel and of course the ethereal chains from that. But meanwhile, Inet goes in.
And Jarvan with that Hydra picking up the first kill. Now Vayne under the tower taking so much damage, is going to get taken out. At least the explosive comes back again, picking up a kill in return. But that was just a bad engage from the red team. They overstayed their welcome a little bit and just took too much damage in that.
Great engagement by Innate is all I can say. Taking great advantage of his high damage. He's picked up a Banshee spell as well, which gives him a nice amount of health and allows him to resist the burst of LeBlanc, which is definitely the statistic he should have gone for. He's very good at melting down people like Vayne and Kha'Zix. The fact that Zorozero is so tricky and hard to hold down means that he's going to be dealing more damage. And if he's taking less damage from those sources, then he's going to be able to survive much longer in fights and deal a hell of a lot more damage.
Exactly, and he just picked up that Megatron cloak as well, so he's looking to survive even longer. And with Dragon coming up in just 2 seconds, and Baron in only 25, these two things are really going to be the next point of focus. And the blue team will generally have an advantage, because of course they've got that middle inhibitor down, but the red team right now is defending that mid lane quite efficiently. Kha'Zix is pushing out the top wave, and Vayne is down at the bottom trying to take care of that. Baron about to respawn, and both of these teams really want to go for it. There's a ward on it from the red team, and there's a pink ward on it from the blue team. So both teams, for the time being, have vision, and the blue team's already pinged it. Vayne down in the bottom lane, going for the 1v1. They condemn, comes back into the wall. LeBlanc is here as well. Renekton surely going to go down, but that's the blue team calling for the Baron. There, Vayne picks up the kill, but Wukong and Jarvan move down to the bottom half of the map. They're not able to make anything happen because of LeBlanc and Vayne to the bottom lane.
Yeah, they should have gone straight for the Baron at that point. 1 man down, but Baron on 4 man is most certainly better than having Baron on 5 men of the enemy team.
And that was at least Dragon picked up by Jarvan. Now they're moving back around to the mid lane. Wukong tried to make something happen. Ahri expended her ultimate. And there does the dazzle. There is the dazzle out onto Thresh. Now the blue team in almost a full-on retreat. Red team pinging Dragon, but of course that is gone already, so they're going to waste a little bit of time. But meanwhile, their inhibitor has respawned. The red team has cleared that out. The top wave is pushing in their favor, and all of a sudden the red team actually has a nice amount of, well, I'd almost say advantages for going for that Baron.
They do indeed, but if top lane can get pushed back in favor of the blue team, they do have a vision ward there, which means vision can be consistently cleared by the blue team. We do see Ideology going for that ward clearer. Does he actually get it? I don't think he actually knows that that red buff is, that totem ward is that. No, he does. He does have vision on that ward, but he decides not to clear it. Oh no, he doesn't. I was looking at the wrong side. So there's vision on the vision on the vision ward, but not vision on the sight ward.
Yeah, vision is a little bit iffy, but here was the almost engage, and a beautiful Talisman of Ascension saved the red team from that one. And that was now a lot of, you know, things used back and forth. The explosive cask, of course, came out. The Kha'Zix ultimate was used as well. because Shaker tried to make something, but for now the blue team is forced to back off with that wave in the top lane. Jarvan's going to go up there to clear it, and this may be the signal for the red team to engage, but with sOAZ going back, it does look like they're going to be just defensive for the time being.
Yep, sOAZ has indeed backed, does pick up the Banshee's Veil as well, so little bit of damage prevention coming out, but it doesn't really help him against Innate, because if Innate lands the flag and drag combo, it will not negate the drag. It will only negate the damage from him dropping Demacian Standard on him. So the combo effectiveness of Innate is still just as high at this point.
Yeah, I probably think that he would rather deny the knockup from Shaker or the charm out of Ahri or the stun out of Taric / Renekton, so he's looking for a little bit of defensive stats, but as you said, maybe the Guardian Angel would have been better. Right now, the blue team has all the vision advantages around that Baron, and the red team has to make something happen. They've showed Gragas bottom, and this may be the signal for the blue team to finally try and engage on this. LeBlanc catches out Ahri and explodes her. That was beautifully done.
Yeah, very well played by Zorozero. He has a lot of burst right now. We've already seen the fact that he's got Rabadon's death.
Oh, Thresh. Really tense situation.
Ideology, actually.
Beautiful hook, landing there, and he does follow it up as well. That's a little bit deep, and now he puts down the box, tries to escape from that. There's Wukong around the corner, Renekton picking up the first kill. Here comes the rest of the team. Kha'Zix's doing so much damage already. The Cyclone not really hitting anyone. Explosive cast coming out. sOAZ in the middle of it, though. Is he going to be able to survive? There's still a burn ticking on him. Wukong picking that kill up, and right now Kha'Zix jumping away over the wall. Is able to escape as well. There's Jarvan flashing after him, picking up the kill, and it's a 3-for-1 in blue team. Gragas and LeBlanc limping away from this one. Still looking for a little bit of aggression. Nice damage onto Renekton, but LeBlanc has to be careful. There's a flag and drag onto Gragas. He flashes away, has to try and survive this. There's no body slam to go over the wall. He goes down to Jarvan. It is now a 4-for-1 with the blue team coming out huge.
Shaka, you do not want to be going in on Zorozero right now. You get absolutely melted. And once again, Shaka being just too aggressive.
But right now, LeBlanc is the only one trying to defend this. Finally, Thresh has respawned as well. There are one more second on Vayne, so they're probably going to be able to defend this inhibitor. And I'd actually have preferred it if Jarvan, combined with Renekton, Shaker, and now the upcoming Thresh and Ahri had tried to go for that Baron, but they did decide it was a little bit too risky. But they're still ahead. They've got a tower in their favor, 5,000 gold, 5 kills, and they've really been doing very well at trying to make this melee AD carry composition worth it, and now that Jarvan has picked up a Guardian Angel as well, this may work even better in the next fight.
Yeah, I'm going to expect that Innate will save Cataclysm until after his first death, so to speak, because if he can do good damage before he dies, and then do even more when he comes back, and allow for yet more crowd control, especially if the charm lands and Shaka can land a very consistent or strong cycler, then things could go very, very well for the blue team. Ideology taking a little bit of poke damage from Lualex, but nothing too serious. Looks like it's another dance near the Baron, but I wouldn't say it's a Baron dance.
Ooh, LeBlanc catching out Ahri once more, but it's not going to be enough this time around, and Jarvan actually with that Cataclysm does pick up the kill in return. Now Gragas still in a lot of trouble. The knockup comes out, and that's going to be Jarvan picking up a kill onto Gragas as well. Right now, it's a 2-for-0 in favor of the blue team, and they're calling for the Baron. They can do this.
Yep, very, very good call by them. They do have wards over the Baron ward. You see them go out now. You do see Lualex there, but it's getting bursted down quite quickly. He's going to be very good with the timing. So much has been seen, and there's an engagement from Shaka.
Shaker going over the wall with the Cyclone. Does get taken out, though, after the death sentence. He's not going to be... Oh, he's almost able to pick up sOAZ, but here, with the Blade of the Ruined King, that's going to be the first kill. Now, Ahri getting taken out by Vayne as well. Now, can they save Thresh? The death sentence comes out. That's a lot of passive AoE damage from Renekton, though, and he's still going to get taken out. Beautifully done by Vayne and Thresh. Double kill on them. Taric and Jarvan are still on the Baron, and Thresh with that seal. Oh, no, he doesn't get the seal. Oh, that was so close. But Taric picked up the Baron. They killed Thresh, and now Vayne going to go down as well. Jarvan with a double kill. Nicely done from the blue team, picking up Baron for themselves and the ace.
That was a fairly crucial misplay by the blue team, actually. Ideology should have been tanking up the Baron, because Innate was constantly getting hit by that Voracious Corruption damage from Baron Nashor, which greatly reduces the damage he takes from that target. So the damage that was being dealt to the Baron was greatly lessened, and they could have killed it far sooner. In fact, they may have even been able to have saved the kid's son's life if that Baron had been picked up.
It was so close though. Now Zero picking up his own blue buff, and right now the advantages look all in favor of the blue team if they can keep making these team fight engagements happen, because everyone on their team is getting tankier and tankier, and slowly that melee AD carry works as well. Vayne has just not been able to get protected well enough, simply because his protectors basically had already been taken out. This time around at least Vayne was able to clean up a little bit, but it was too little too late, and the Baron still went over to the blue team. Now LeBlanc looking for a pick in the bottom lane, but Wukong smelling it out, just backing off safely.
Yeah, the blue team are currently a little bit fragmented. Shaka in the bottom lane and Innate in the top lane. Things going fairly well for them. Innate has so much damage right now, 358 AD. Still has that Guardian Angel unpopped from the last fight. We do see Shaka picking up the red buff. We do see once again blue team looking to form up as 5. Seems that they're going to prioritize top lane instead of trying to siege in and grab this inhibitor.
And I love the fact that Ahri picked up that Abyssal Scepter. That was really what saved her that last time, because once she got popped by LeBlanc, the second time around, she narrowly got away, and instead the blue team picked up kills onto LeBlanc, but here they go in. Vayne actually using that ultimate, the charm narrowly missing Vayne. Vayne with that Banshee's Veil does dodge the Taric stun. Kha'Zix flashing away over the wall. Now comes Jarvan from the backline, almost picking up the kill onto Kha'Zix. He's still chasing, does pick that one up. LeBlanc meanwhile has killed Taric. The blue team is pushing into the base. Vayne completely off to the side, zoned out of everything. LeBlanc trying to make a little bit more happen. Jarvan took out the tower in the top lane. Now Thresh getting charmed over the gonna go down low. Ahri doesn't quite have the damage. Wukong flashing in there, wants that kill. LeBlanc tried to do a little bit of damage onto Ahri, wasn't quite able to do anything either. Now Renekton in that box, he's gonna go down, was a little overzealous, is gonna get picked up by Gragas, and the middle inhibitor still stands. Here comes Shaka with the Cyclone going in onto LeBlanc, picks up that kill, nicely done. Gragas and Vayne still up, they want to make something happen, they pick up Shaka. Jarvan, just get the inhibitor, you still have your Guardian Angel. There he goes. Now he goes down though. Is he still gonna be able to get up? Take out Gragas on the return? No, he's not. Gragas went far enough away. Oh, here he goes actually, and he does manage. Now he's gonna get himself killed by the towers. Nicely done from Jarvan there, at least. Oh, Vayne does pick up the kill, so she does get the double buff. But again, nicely fought from the blue team. A little overzealous in the end, but still overall they gained the advantages they needed.
The fact was that Innate actually went and took that top in the turret, so that's given them even more of a gold advantage. But had he been there for the entirety of the fight and not come in far later, then I think that could have been ace.
That's probably true, but at least they did manage to get the middle inhibitor down again and pick up the top tower. Slowly, everyone is getting to those 6 item builds. The Guardian Angel was just popped on Jarvan, and he instantly reacts, selling it and picking up a Trinity Force in return. Taric is basically almost a full item build. He's picked up a Randuin's Omen for himself, wants to make himself tanky. Thresh, of course, responding in kind, also has that. And I actually want to see how much gold was generated. 832 gold shared with that Face of the Mountain at this point. That's pretty nice. On the other side, though, we have almost 1,000 gold shared with that coin. And Ahri going in onto Vayne, doing so much damage. Gets condemned into the wall, though, and there was a cleanse out of Vayne, and they do pick up the kill. Thresh coming around just in time. Nicely played there by the Fnatic duo.
Yeah, very well done. I didn't actually realize. No. Cleanse? I think it was Banshee's Veil being procced actually, because there is no cleanse when you're held by sOAZ.
Oh, that just looked weird then. Oh, that's my bad.
No, it's Mikhail's Crucible on Cyanide.
Oh, that's what it was. It looked like it. I was confused.
Yeah, Mikhail's Crucible, very well used by Cyanide. Good communication between the Fnatic duo. Does pick up the kill, so it's going to be a good 30-35 seconds before Dragon respawns. We actually see Innate going in on Lurlex, but there's 3 of his teammates nearby. He's going to fall back very quickly. Good burst damage dealt, but he does have a lot of lifesteal. Will regenerate his health fairly quickly.
Yeah, LeBlanc also does manage to sustain herself back up after getting hit up by Shaka quite hard, and right now the blue team does try to aggress a little bit more, but they're still in this mid lane. The inhibitor is down, and that is Shaka just getting exploded. LeBlanc picking up that kill. Now Vayne in the middle lane is trying to take out Taric, does do a lot of damage. That's Taric going down as well. Can they keep chasing onto Renekton? Jarvan around the corner has decided to recall. Vayne still chasing onto Renekton, not quite going to be able to catch up, despite that passive, of course. Now Vayne with the Orbit of Deception coming up just short of Vayne, the charm not landing either, and this is the red team now with all the advantages in their favor, trying to push trying to rush down this middle lane. LeBlanc going over the wall, almost gets Ahri, takes away half her HP, and is Vayne pushing down on an inhibitor turret, and Vayne does a lot of turret damage.
Yeah, down goes the turret, down goes the inhib most likely as well. It's still 30 seconds until Shaka and Ideology respawn, so Red Team could try and push out the game at this stage.
I don't think they will. Oh, nice! Death Sentence lands and Kha'Zix goes in as well. The Zonya's instantly used from Ahri. That was beautiful and does survive for a little bit. The explosive cast came out, knocking everyone away, and this is going to be Gragas picking up the kill onto Renekton. Only Kha'Zix going down, though. That could have ended a lot worse with LeBlanc and Thresh being very low in the middle of that fight there. Actually, LeBlanc quite healthy still, but could have gone down as well. Oh, will go down now. Fine.
Melted. Oh, wow.
Okay, so not during the fight, but after the fight, and that was another kill going over to the blue team. And right now, Baron is respawning in 30 seconds, the third Baron of this game. 45 minutes in, with 80,000 plus gold on both of these teams. It's really getting tense here. One little misstep from either team could end the game.
It's all going to be around this next Baron. If the blue team can pick up the third consecutive Baron, I very much doubt that Red Team can bring this game back. We see Ideology placing all the wards he can, getting as much ward coverage on the map. We do see sOAZ coming across. He might get caught out though. No, he's got vision. He saw that totem ward getting placed by Son of Dragon and gave it onto Cyanide, but it's only Innate gone over the wall.
Innate is all by his lonesome. Ahri not able to follow that one up, but he's able to walk away again as well. For now, the Baron has just been delayed. Shaka at half HP is still in that Baron pit, is still hitting the Baron. For now, the blue team does look like they're able to do it. Explosive Cask was not used by Gragas though, so he's still got that to try and steal it. Kha'Zix waiting over the wall as well. Baron already going pretty low. Now sOAZ fighting it out against Innate and Son of Dragon, going very low, but doing a nice amount of damage as well. Flashes away over the wall. Ahri following him. The Ignite is still on. The Charm lands. That's Ahri picking up the kill. Mirren is still being done by Taric. Up in the top lane, Shaka almost getting taken out by Gragas. Gragas still alive. Taric flashing over the wall, wants to pick up that kill. The Guardian Angel is popped, and Innate still on the Baron. The blue team may be able to pick this up. No, he backs off. Kha'Zix taking down Shaka over in the jungle, and now Thresh is still alive. Gragas is still alive. Thresh hooks the Baron, wants to see. There's half HP left on it, and LeBlanc actually follows it up. They're trying to get onto Taric. Taric going very low, is at a third of its HP. He's going to go down, and Renekton all alone has to back off now, but LeBlanc almost wants to follow it up, is now going very low in return, does use the Deathfire Grasp, but this might be Baron going over to the red team. They've managed to defend it, pick it up for themselves. Now are they going to get engaged on afterwards, because there's a Dominance Renekton and an Ahri and a Banshee's Veil. Innate, he goes in, picks up one kill, but Kha'Zix gets the return. Now can they save Thresh from that Renekton? No, they cannot. He goes down. Can Kha'Zix escape? He's used his ultimate, is trying to run away. And there's LeBlanc coming around the corner, does get hit up by the Charm, is going very low, and Renekton actually picking up that kill, and Kha'Zix picking up the return. There's a Charm and the kill for Ahri. Ace to 4, and the Baron for the red team actually, but it's not on any members anymore.
Yeah, very, very heated Baron fight right there. And we actually saw almost every member of both teams fall. Son of Dragon actually fell in the early stages of the first fight, I believe. And just goes to show how long late game Baron fights can last. Long enough for some players to actually respawn and re-engage in the fight.
That was ridiculous. That was just such a drawn-out battle, and in the end, Baron was taken, but it's not going to have too much of an effect. Of course, the extra experience doesn't matter anymore because everyone is already level 18, and the gold doesn't really matter any, as everyone on the red team, except for LeBlanc, has finished a 6-item build. I mean, Vayne could still replace her boots with a Zephyr, and I guess Thresh could try to modify something around as well, but right now he's got that Zik's Herald and the Randuin's Omen. I'm not sure if he wants to replace anything because they do need the Sightstone as well. So everything right now pretty even, and the Baron buff is not on anyone either. So at this point, both of the teams are as strong as they can be. The objectives don't matter much anymore either, and it's just going to be about who can push better, who can take more objectives, and the red team do still have that inhibitor down in the mid lane that just respawned.
Yeah, Shaka stealing away the blue buff as Zorozero does come down to try and take it. Hopefully Shaka won't try and attempt an engagement. No, he goes straight down onto the dragon. He's got a hell of a lot of damage, so I don't see how he's not going to be able to get it. Red team are completely unaware of his attempt, but as you said, gold is not particularly important this late in the game. The only person that people it will really apply to are LeBlanc and Taric, because Taric only has 5 items currently. I've got to admit though that the Zik's Herald pickup is definitely better on the Taric because of course so much AD damage currently being present on the blue team.
Oh, this is huge. The engage comes down. Jarvan went pretty deep there, almost taking out Kha'Zix, and this is the red team having to back off for the time being, but they're split up. Vayne is on the backside, nice lantern right out of there, keeps him safe, and Taric now, the blue team, with all the advantages, the red team is completely out of position. This is surely going to be the mid inhibitor going down. The question is, what more can the blue team grab on the back of this? They don't have an exposed inhibitor. Jarvan goes in, and that's Vayne going pretty low. The explosive cast came in almost immediately. Renekton going very well. Very low. Thresh has already gone down. There is LeBlanc also going down. The blue team coming out huge on this one. There's a Cyclone in there as well. Gragas with that Zhonya's just barely managing to stay alive. Kha'Zix still over the corner. That's Gragas now going down. Kha'Zix picking up 1 kill in return. Up there, Vayne also went down. The blue team right now 4-4-1, and they're all in the base, and Kha'Zix is not even allowed to recall. Right now, this could be the game. Bottom inner turret going down as well, and Taric just tanking up the Nexus towers. He's got so much armor on himself as well with that Randuin's Omen and the face of the mountain. Now there's a minion wave as well. That's the first Nexus tower going down. Kha'Zix has finally managed to recall. He's in there. He does have a Guardian Angel. That's going to get popped, but the second Nexus tower is down as well, and this is 3 members waiting for him to respawn. There's a kill, and that's going to be the Nexus and the game in favor of the blue team. GG well played after 50 minutes and over 40 seconds. Such a drawn-out game, and that melee AD carry of Jarvan really doing work all game long. 21-6-17. Wow.
Great composition work by the blue team. I have to admit, the Jarvan, very skeptical about it at first, but the fact that it combos so well when Shaka could get good engagements with the Cyclone meant that they could absolutely melt away the low health carries. Zorozero, sOAZ, both died very quickly. Lulex, very tanky, no, not very tanky, very tricky, but he died quite quickly as well, and they managed to pick up this game very decisively with, in the end, 9,000 gold advantage to their name. 51 minutes almost in the game, 9 turrets to 5. Well played there.
Indeed, so that was a pretty fun game to watch, and that's going to be it for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd very much appreciate it if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, followed me on Twitter maybe. I'll also put all the info for Elthizar in there that I have, and I hope to see you back again. So thank you very much for watching.